Why does it feel like everyone else already has it figured out and you don't? Romans chapter 12, verse 2 says that do not conform to the patterns of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Do you feel like you're being left behind, sort of? And do you feel like everyone else kind of knows what they're doing and everyone else knows what they should be doing in life, and you kind of are stuck in a kind of trance or a kind of transition period for yourself where you don't really know what you're meant to be doing, or you don't really know, you haven't really figured out what you actually want out of life or what you actually want to be doing. And sometimes you might ask yourself, what's actually wrong with me? Like, what am I actually doing wrong, or what do I actually, what is my actual value in life? Especially if you're getting older and you're thinking, what's my actual value to my family and to my friends? How do my friends perceive me? If I don't have the job I want right now, if I'm not settled right now, if I'm not at the place that I want to be right now, it affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Psychology has a name for this kind of feeling, and it's called the social comparison theory. And this was first developed by Leon Festiger. The theory explains that humans naturally evaluate themselves by comparing to others, especially people we see that are similar to us, but we also view them as ahead of us. So it's really, really important. People who are similar to us, but we also see that's ahead of us. So it could be a young person who's making more money than you, or it could be, someone who's from your area or from the same background as you, who's, seemingly doing better than you. And it's really important that it's a similar type of person, and that's where you kind of get that social comparison theory from. This theory literally explains, why we feel the way we feel and why it affects us the way it affects us. When you constantly compare yourself to others, your brain activates regions linked to emotional pain and self-evaluation. When you constantly compare yourself to others, the brain activates regions linked to emotional pain and self-evaluation, especially the anterior singular. When you constantly compare yourself to others, the brain activates regions linked to emotional pain and self-evaluation, especially the anterior singular cortex, which is involved in detecting social conflict and feelings of inadequacy. At the same time, heavy social media use can overstimulate